to our interview with the three guys on the Oregon O-line. Jeff Kendall, first time ever on the show, college football offensive lineman, came on and got off this rant.
We knew we were coming on, Jim, and we didn't know how to go about it. I mean, do we come on as, just players and do a standard interview, or do we come on as the fans of the show that we are? We kind of got together, Schwartz and I, and we said, if we're going to go on, let's do this thing right. The vote was unanimous. Have a take, don't suck. So here it goes. I got to start off by saying first time, long time. We would like to send a special thank you out to all the columnists who picked us to finish as an average middle-of-the-pack team going into the season. Good call on that one. Great take. And whoever wrote that this team could be great if we had a decent O-line, thanks, because we're not mad at you. We'd like to thank you for that. It's the rest of the Pac-10 who's pissed off because they've had to pay for it. Jim, if I asked you how many offers the interior O-line here at Oregon had coming out of high school, you'd probably throw a huge number at me. One thing you got to consider here, try this on for size, Jim. 3 scholarships, not 3 each. We're talking 3 between all 3 of them. We were the only school, Oregon, that saw something in these guys. That gives us 2 things. 1, we got coaches that evaluate talent better than any school in the country. And 2, you got guys out there playing with chips on their shoulders. Having countless schools tell you, no, you're not good enough to play for them, Jim, that sticks with an 18-year-old kid. Too bad for the rest of the pack. Okay, let's move on to Mr. Jonathan Stewart, the freak of nature. We got our own Jay Stu here in Eugene, Jim. He, too, is Mr. Automatic. This kid dishes out more pain to opposing defenses than Siegfried and Roy's friendly White Tiger. He inflicts more pain on tacklers than Larry Bonds does on his mistresses. He's a maniac, a frickin' maniac, and holy moly, he is the next big thing. We got to move on to Mr. Dennis Dixon, Heisman hopeful, the one we call D-Dix. The prototype of what a quarterback has become, Jim. He got buried last season, if you remember, by everybody coast to coast when we fell off the face of the earth halfway through the season. Now all of those people who tried to bury him are squabbling for a piece of the kid. Everyone here at Oregon, we understand what we've gotten ourselves into with Dennis. We all want to be able to look at him and say one thing. Hello, Heisman. Now, we got to move on to the naysayers who bash this thing called the spread offense that we've happened to perfect here. They say it's not football. The traditionalists say it's just trickery, Jim. They say the spread offense can't be physical. Why don't you ask Washington how physical our offense is? We're talking 426 yards on the ground. That's okay, I guess. We've got athletic directors and coaches all over the country scurrying to find the next Chip Kelly. Yes, the Chip Kelly. This guy's got more game-changing ideas up his sleeve than Van Smack does sling box plugs. And on that note, Jim, I want to personally thank you for the Pro Flowers promos over the past couple of years. It's gone over very well with the girlfriend and gone over great on Mother's Days with my mom back in Colorado. And we can't leave out the D, Jim. We got to give him some credit. The most underrated defense in the country, undoubtedly. We got a kid by the name of Nick Reed who's got offensive tackles quivering in their stances before every play. The linebackers here at Oregon, Jim, are always on the set. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. And the D-boys, these guys don't know the meaning of cover corner. You catch a ball, you better get ready to get your head knocked off. Now, Jim, in the fashion that is Oregon football, we got to be bold for a second and say this. We will play in a national title game. Everybody listening coast to coast, you can tune in and watch it Thursday. It'll be played in Tucson, Arizona. See, for us, Jim, this season, every game is for the national title. That's been our mentality all season. I don't know what their record is. I don't even really know what ours is. But I know that they've won a couple in a row. They're hot. They got a great defense, a lot of guys returning from last year. And they came into Autzen last year and thumped us pretty good. We know they'll be fired up in Tucson. They were 2 years ago, but we go by this motto here. Respect all, fear none. Last but certainly not least, we want to thank all of the...
There's more? Go ahead, bro. You're fine.
Last but certainly not least, we want to thank all the Duck fans coast to coast. Autzen Stadium is an amazing place to play, and it's undoubtedly the loudest stadium in the country. Running out to that sold-out crowd, Jim, there's nothing like it. I can't explain it. We got to thank you personally, Jim, for the pub. We're talking 4 Duck interviews in 3 weeks. We truly owe you one. Because the thing is, you get that there is football being played in the Pacific Northwest. You get that there are Pac-10 teams outside of California. A lot of people miss that. Now, there's more than 3 of us in this thing, Jim, so you got to give me time to say some names here. We got Patamo, Scotty, Ung Daddy, Huck, Tupau, Sherg, Seeger, Louie, Thransky, Kais, Holmes, Minimax, Ask, Chuck, Big Leezy, Wild Bill, Ram, Coach Eddie, and Coach Greatwood. Jim, we're just a bunch of fat kids living a dream. now comes the time to war some things. But you know what? I'm not going to war anything today, Jim. Some may roll their eyes at that, saying, oh, that's typical, but that's fine. You can say that. My roommate, Eric Steimer, our long snapper on the team, his brother's recently deployed for Iraq. Our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family and everyone over there. Please come home safely. It's been amazing to do an interview, Jim, on your show. Share the airwaves with Jim McLaren, one of my heroes who you introduced me to. Thanks for the line. It's been fun. I'll never forget this. Good night now.
Jeff freaking Kendall. Center. Oregon O-line. That was even better the second time than it was the first time. So I want to thank the members of the Oregon Ducks O-line. The ringleader, King Clone, Jeff Schwartz. Grew up in Los Angeles. He dragged these guys into it. Kendall obviously got up to speed pretty quickly. Max Unger also came in. So, Oregon Duck O-line coming through.